The Culture Pop Podcast is brought to you by the law offices of Jacob Emrani.
Accident or injury, call Jacob Emrani. Call Jacob.
Hey, it's Mase. If you or a friend or loved one is injured in an accident, the first person you should call is my friend Jacob. When I did this, Jacob was great. He helped me by talking through the next steps, which really put my mind at ease. When you're injured in an accident, you got to have an expert. That's why you call Jacob, just like I did. Call Jacob, 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB, or visit calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Culture Pop Podcast. I'm Steve Mason, along with 𝐒𝐤𝐞𝐢𝐚𝐥. This is the show where we talk about everything happening in the world of pop culture. And 𝐒𝐤𝐴, it is time for the Academy Awards, the best show of the year for me.
Very excited.
And we're going to preview all of it with Mark Ellis from Rotten Tomatoes. We're going to try to do all of the Oscar picks so that you can win your Oscar pool, and we'll do it all in 30 minutes. That is coming up for you. I want to mention, if you are watching the show right now, make sure to like the show on YouTube. And down below, you can leave us a comment, a review, an idea. You can react to our Oscar picks. Tell us where we're right. Tell us where we're wrong. That's on YouTube. Search the Culture Pop Podcast. If you are listening on Apple or Spotify, please like the show. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review, a positive review, ideally. And we appreciate that. And if somebody out there is trying to figure out their Oscar pool, you can point them towards this show, because I believe we will have all of the answers. And joining us right now from Rotten Tomatoes, stand-up comic Mark Ellis joins us. Mark, thank you so much for coming on.
I love seeing y'all smiling faces. And look, this is the week that I usually really hunker down and focus on movies. And it's been tough, not just because the night schedule was stand-up, but I did not anticipate. Look, I played competitive basketball my whole life right up until now. I did not anticipate the NBA getting this exciting this early in the season. So I'm thrown for a little bit of a loop, and it's taken away some of my movie focus because there's just so many good storylines in pro hoops right now.
Yeah, in particular, Luka on the Lakers, which is like the craziest thing. I watched the game on Saturday. I'm like, how the hell did we get Luka Doncic? It's still staggering to me.
Now, and Steve, I just want to ask you, Steve, did you have any idea this was coming down the pike?
Absolutely not. None. No idea. I don't think anybody had any idea. LeBron didn't know. How would I know? At this point, it happened under cover of night. It was a black bag operation, and somehow Rob Pelinka got it done. It's amazing. Amazing. So the Oscars are coming up on Sunday. They start at 7 o'clock this year, so 4 o'clock here in LA, an hour earlier. And my idea here is that in 30 minutes, we're going to tell people how to win their Oscars office pool. So I've got every category. Now, some of these I think we know really well. Some of these, maybe Mark, you know them all. Some of these we're going to be taking a shot at, shot in the dark. But we want people to be able to win their Oscar pool. So let's jump right in. We're going to start out with Best Original Screenplay. Nominees: Anora, Brutalist, Real Pain, September 5th, and The Substance. Mark, how you feeling about that one?
I like this as a possible upset category where Substance, which has really been gaining some steam in the last few weeks, I think The Substance could give something like Anora a run for its money. So I'm gonna start off with a scalding hot take and say I think The Substance actually ends up taking home the trophy here. Let's just set the table.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable upset spot. Where are you on this, Sue?
Anora.
And I am completely on Anora. Did they do the WGA awards yet? Did Anora win the WGA?
Yes.
I think it won WGA, PGA.
And it won BAFTA, and it won not BAFTA.
It won Producers Guild.
Producers
and Critics'
Guild.
Choice, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Sue, you're on Anora, I'm on Anora. Mm-hmm. Writing Adapted Screenplay. Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, I tried to say it the right way, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Sue, where are you on this?
Conclave.
I'm also on
Conclave.
It is a great script. Mark?
I think I'm going to go Conclave here because similar to Substance, I think that this has been picking up a lot of steam in the last couple of weeks, not just with the real news going on in the Vatican right now, but also just I think that interest in this is perked up. So I think Conclave has a pretty healthy lead in this race.
Yeah, it's like Conclave is a preview for the real Conclave, which I have a feeling is coming at some point soon.
Right. And the script was very modern. I mean, it was just, that's what I thought was so amazing about it. So,
okay, visual effects. Here we go. This is one of those. Alien Romulus, Better Man, which was about a singing monkey. Dune, which I saw. Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, or Wicked. Mark, how you feeling?
I feel like we have more Dune coming down the pipe, but this sort of feels like something that I think you're going to see with Wicked next year, where it's sort of the lifetime achievement, like what they did with Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, when they knew that was the last one of the trilogy. I think Dune Part 2 is going to clean up here. I love Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I have not seen the other movie with the primate in the lead yet.
You did not see the monkey singing movie?
I didn't see the monkey singing movie. Do I need to?
No, you can skip that. So Robbie Williams' life story told through the eyes of a monkey. It's the strangest thing.
Take big swings.
So you're going Dune Part 2. Sue, where are you?
Dune Part 2.
Lock that up as unanimous. Dune Part 2. Let's go to sound. It used to be 2 different categories. Now it's just 1. Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. I'll go first here. I think this is Wicked. I think Wicked because of the mix of music and sound. I'm going to go Wicked. Mark?
I don't think Wicked's going to leave this night empty-handed. I think Dune 2 could push it a little bit here, but I feel like Wicked, not just how great the sound was in the film, but also all of the singing, I think adds a little bit to it when you're voting. Yeah. So I'm going to go with it. There just wasn't enough song and dance numbers in Dune 2.
Yeah, no, they did not sing. They did not dance. They did have worms.
They did have worms.
They did have worms. All right, Sue?
I'm going Dune, and this is from someone who hasn't seen the film, but I'm going to go Dune 2 because it's sound. It's not the singing, really. I mean, it's the sound. So
yeah,
I think that I think they're going to clean up in those 2 categories we just talked about.
Okay, there's Sue. She's recommending Dune Part 2. Okay, here we go. These are the silly ones. Ready? Short film live action. There is, let me read these.
Yeah.
There is 𝐒𝐤𝐞𝐬𝐭, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. This is a category I know well. Kidding. But I am taking a shot just because it feels like a winner. 𝐒𝐤𝐿. I'm going 𝐒𝐤𝐿. Mark, I'm assuming you didn't see him.
I haven't seen any of these yet. They do some cool screenings in LA where you get to see a bunch of the shorts in a row, which I highly advise. I haven't been there yet to do that. If you're going to 𝐒𝐤𝐿, why don't I go with The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent? That just sounds intriguing.
That does. That's a good sound. That's a good title.
It's the Mark Ellis life story, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent.
There you go.
That was my choice, The Man Who Cannot Remain Silent. And this category feels like I'm at the track and I'm just picking it because of the name.
Yeah, I'll take 𝐒𝐤𝐿 in the Daily Double, that kind of thing. All right, so 2 on The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent and 1 on 𝐒𝐤𝐿, which I'm not even sure I'm saying correctly. I mean, serious. It could be 𝐒𝐤𝐿. I'm not even sure. Short film animated. Beautiful Man, In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candles, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck. I'm going to go first. I just like the title, Wander to Wonder. I just think that has a musical quality to it, and I think that is going to attract the voters. Mark?
I'm sticking with my short category leanings, where I'm going to predict the movie that most sounds like my biography.
Okay.
And no, it's not Beautiful Men. We're going to go with Yuck for this category.
There you go. A vote for Yuck. Sue?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go with...
Come on, Sue.
All right, I'm gonna go with Yuck.
Yes.
One with Yuck. You and Ellis voting together a lot here. You guys must be right.
we might have had a call prior to you joining us where we
did.
talk strategy.
There was a lot of hijinks on the way to actually getting this show together today. So yeah, you could have had a conversation.
Well, some people dance in the dark. I vote in the dark.
And we are all taking shots in the dark here. All right, music original song. There is 𝐿𝐴𝐵 from Amelia Perez, The Journey from 68888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino, Amelia Perez, and Never Too Late. That probably was written by Diane Warren. She's nominated somewhere here. What is the winner of this category? Sue?
Diane Warren wrote The Journey.
Oh, The Journey. Okay, so she wrote number 2.
Yes, and that's the song I'm voting for.
Diane Warren does not win Oscars. She never has.
Well, I think this is going to be the year she wins.
She's the Susan Lucci of the Academy Awards. What do you think, Mark?
Sometimes when you have a category like this and there's one film that has 2 songs nominated, you worry about splitting the vote. But I feel like with Amelia Perez, I think 𝐿𝐴𝐵 is the far and away front runner here. So I'm going to stick with the lead dog. To borrow Sue's track comparison, I'm going to go with that dog.
There you go. I am with you. I think 𝐿𝐴𝐵 is the highlight of Amelia Perez. That's the one with the big conference. She's dancing on conference table, all that kind of stuff. Fantastic. So I am going 𝐿𝐴𝐵, which I believe from my many attempts at Spanish means the bad. All right, let's go. Doesn't it?
I think it's closer to you.
𝐿𝐴𝐵 is better.
Yeah.
I was going to guess a big shopping center, but no.
Yeah, that's 𝐿𝐴𝐵. Yeah. Music, original score, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Mark?
I think I'll have to go with, I think I'm going to stick with Amelia Perez here, actually. It's going to be a competitive category, but I'm going to go with Amelia Perez again.
Sue?
The Brutalist.
Yeah.
I think The Brutalist is going to take home a lot more Oscars than I want them to.
Yeah, I'm going to take The Brutalist also. They had to write the most score. They had to write 3.5 hours of score. So it's a volume play. It really is. So I'm going Brutalist. All right, makeup and hairstyling. We kind of have a feel for this. A Different Man, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, sorry about that. The Substance, and Wicked. I will go first here. I think The Substance has everything to do with makeup and hairstyling, so I am picking The Substance. Sue?
Wicked.
Wicked is a totally reasonable choice. Somebody had to put that green paint on Elphaba every day. Mark?
Yeah, it's always the most obvious ones, and I'm like, how is it not going to be Wicked? And I started thinking Nosferatu, but then I finally did see The Substance. I don't know if I broke that news already to y'all yet. Finally got to check it out. Loved it start to finish. I am rooting for The Substance to clean up as many categories as possible. Let's go get that makeup gold.
All right, there you go. This is such an interesting category, international film. I'm Still Here, with a great performance by Fernando Torres, who it's terrific in the movie. The Girl with the Needle, Amelia Perez, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, and Flow. Sue, where are you going here?
I'm Still Here, and I still haven't seen it. But I think it's going to win.
It's a really good movie. It's really good. Mark?
It's the beauty of us filling out our Oscars ballots. You don't need to see any of the films to fill out a ballot and try to take somebody on. If you had asked me this question 2 months ago, I would have said hands down Amelia Perez. But every year there's a movie that gets thrown into the blender and gets debated and gets torn apart. And that seems like Amelia Perez is that movie that it's happening to. And I think I'm Still Here goes right up into that number one front runner spot. Give me I'm Still Here.
Yeah, I'm the same with you. 2 months ago, I would have said Amelia Perez, but after the Sofia Maria Gascon did all her garbage, I'm Still Here. It's a really good movie, Sue. You will love it.
Yes, if I can only find where to see it.
Get there to see Still Here. All right, film editing. Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Wicked. I think this is going to be, it's either Anora or Conclave. I'm going to go Anora here. It had a lot of fast pace, It was a chase. I really liked the editing in it. Mark?
My answer for this category is not Amelia Perez. You talk about a lot of the off the field stuff, so to speak, but the editing, that nomination's gotten a little debatable.
Yes.
Leave it at that. I think it's between Honora and Conclave. You could be right, Steve. This could be the category where Honora starts to feel the momentum of the evening, and then it gets into the bigger categories and starts taking home more and more trophies. But I think Conclave is still holding a little too strong. And so I'm going to go with Conclave for my film editing Oscar.
Sue?
I'm going with Honora, but Mark, I've been reading a lot about Conclave, and almost every outlet has Conclave best editing. But I think I'm going to go with Honora.
I'm going to go Honora also, although Conclave is clearly picking up steam and won the SAG Award for Best Ensemble this week. But I'm going to stick with Honora. Documentary. Okay, now I've not seen any of these. Death by Numbers, I Am Ready, Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. I will pick the only phrase that I have ever said, which is "I am ready, Warden." I'm going there. Sue?
I'm going with Porcelain War, which I haven't seen. I saw Soundtrack to a Koopa.
Oh, did you?
I saw that, and I saw Sugarcane. Porcelain War has to do with artists.
By the way, you're in
Ukraine.
Oh, you're right. That's documentary feature. I gave you the nominees for my screw up. Documentary short, Sue. I screwed that up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I actually have. I actually have. I'm Ready, Warden.
Oh, you do. There you go.
But I have a feeling The Only Girl in the Orchestra is going to win.
It's based on
just looking at the title.
It is like going to the track. It is like going to the track. All right. Best big documentary. I don't think that's the actual name of the category. Best full documentary. There's a short one and then there's a full one. Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, or Sugarcane. I am going with what I understand is the favorite in this category, No Other Land. Mark?
I will go with No Other Land, and for best documentary short, I'm also going to go with the phrase that I have had to utter a couple of times. I am ready, Warden. So at least
we're unanimous
we finally
on that.
agree. We finally have found common ground with best documentary short.
Excellent point. Sue, documentary feature.
Porcelain War.
Oh, right. You just gave us a description.
Right.
Yeah, and you like it?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
I'm going by the subject matter.
Okay, just you love porcelain?
Yes,
what it is?
I do. I love porcelain.
You have
you know what? I grew up with a lot of porcelain.
That explains it.
And I said it's about the artists in Ukraine, so that's
what
I'm voting for.
That's a very nice choice. All right. Where are we here? Short film animated. Again, these are. I think I'm screwed up now. Elmo, make a hairstyling.
We did do best animated short.
We did the short. We didn't do the full animation. The big animation.
They call it the big animation. I'm going Wild Robot.
Yeah, I have not seen this, not because of a lack of interest, but because I know what this movie's going to do to me. And I would have even said that back when Sweet Molly the Wonder Dog, the love of my life, was around. She passed away a few months ago, and there's no way you're getting me near the Wild Robot for a good long while, because I'm going to be a bucket of tears.
It is very sentimental. I really love that movie. It's really sweet.
I know it's going to do what Coco did to me, where I was happy that the lights stayed off during the credits, because
by the way,
I was
Coco,
just weeping.
The best Pixar movie for me.
It's so good.
It reduced me to a puddle. It is such a good movie.
Yeah.
So where are you on animated, big animated?
I'm gonna go with Wild Robot, although the flow is getting a lot of attention.
It is. You're right.
But I'm gonna go with Wild Robot because I like the subject matter.
Okay. Costume design, A Complete Unknown, Conclave. They all wore the same damn thing. Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I am all over Wicked in this category. There were so many different costumes. Everybody wasn't wearing the same costume like they were in Conclave. It was repetitive.
Yeah, I would love to have been on the set for Conclave and acting that film because you're just wearing the same thing every day.
I heard John Lithgow did an interview, said it weighed like 40 pounds, that whole getup that they wore.
Wow, really? It's like a mini hazmat suit they got going on there. Okay. I am going to go not with the film, with apparently the very heavy Hurt Locker suits for the Cardinals. I want to find an area where I can pick Nosferatu because I'm a huge horror fan and I love Robert Eggers, but this is going to be Wicked, and they don't even have to bother saying the other nominees in this category during the telecast.
Sue?
I agree. Wicked, for
Unanimous?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder when they have like a complete unknown also for costume. It's like, I guess they have to fill the category. So, I mean, I didn't think that.
It's just like everybody was wearing regular
everybody
clothes.
was wearing regular clothes in the 60s. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, how deep did you have to dig there?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right. Cinematography. This is a good one. The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, the one nomination for Maria, and Nosferatu. Is this your spot for Robert Eggers?
This is not my spot for Robert Eggers because I'm going with the Steve Mason line of logic where the Brutalist had 3.5 hours to craft all these incredible shots. And you just got, if you want quality, if you want quantity, the Brutalist got them both. So I think it's also going to get a statue as a result of this category.
Sue?
I'm going to go with the Brutalist because I was doing a lot of research on this.
Oh, nice.
They used VistaVision format. Did you know about this?
Sure. No.
Okay. Did you know about it, Mark?
I did. I was reading a couple articles about it. It's fascinating stuff.
So they created this like cinematic, like epic kind of look on a very, very small budget.
Oh.
And I think that they're going to get rewarded for that.
Plus, they had to do more cinematography than any other movie in the category. All right. Production design. This is always good. The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, or Wicked.
Ah, man. Is this the one where I give it to Nosferatu when the Brutalist is right there and probably gonna compete with Wicked, I would imagine. I think I'm gonna go the Brutalist. I'm going the Brutalist.
Okay. I think this is again a spot for Wicked. I mean, the movie is production design when you think about it, the whole thing. So I'm on Wicked in this category.
I'm with you, Steve. Wicked all the way.
Yeah, Wicked's got to win some awards, right?
I think this is probably the one it is going to win. I'm just now being the guy that has to pick something different in order to catch my competitors. But I think Wicked is probably, you might be able to pencil Wicked in for this year and next year in this category.
Right. So, next year we get the other Wicked. Yeah.
So if the idea is that we're choosing because we want people to win, are you having people kind of go astray a little bit here, Mark? Because you're saying you think it's going to be Wicked, but you kind of want to give the other guy a shot?
Sometimes you're watching the Oscars and early on you get a surprise and it sort of dictates how the rest of the night is going to go. And so this could be one of those linchpin categories where if you take a risk, maybe it doesn't hurt you that much. And if you hit on this gamble, then you can really start to surge in front of your friends, or in my case, my mom, who I am locked in a bitter Oscars competition with every year.
You and Mom?
I would say she's my Ivan Drago, but Drago lost against Rocky, and she beats the crap out of me like I'm Apollo Creed.
I will crush you, says Mom.
Yeah.
All right, we're up to the big categories. Best Director. Now, to me, there's a clear front runner here, although somebody may go different in this category. I am all over Sean Baker for Anora. Brady Corbet is nominated for The Brutalist. James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Jacques Audiard from Emilia Perez. And Carly Fargeau. Now I'm going to say it again. I looked this up one time. It's Coralie Fargeau for The Substance. Those are the 5 pictures nominated for Best Director. Again, I'm on Sean Baker. He already won the DGA. Sue, what do you think?
I'm going Sean Baker. He won PGA, DGA, and hands down, I think the best direction.
Hands down. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, look, if I was Brady Corbett, I would still put the tux on and show up to the ceremony because there is a chance that the Brutalist does this.
Yep.
But I feel like Sean Baker should get there early and start stretching and maybe walk the stairs a few times just as for practice, because I think he's going to be doing it during the telecast for this category.
So one of the things in terms of this movie, I really think that Honora has got that approach to marginalized people that Sean Baker has done so well, whether it be the Florida Project or Tangerine, which is an unbelievable movie. It's about people on the outside and what people on the margins are doing with their lives. And in this case, sex workers and the way they live their lives. And by the way, sex workers have unanimously almost loved this movie. They love Honora. Say it really captures what the experience and what the life is all about. All right, here we go. The big ones. Actress in a supporting role. Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. Ariana Grande for Wicked. Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. And Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. I think this is a slam dunk for Zoe Saldana. What do you think? Sue, you're nodding your head, yes?
I second that. I don't see any way she does not win this award.
Mark?
I love Zoe Saldana. I hope she does get the statue. I'm a huge Monica fan because I saw Top Gun Maverick, and one of the many things that blew me away in that movie upon thousands of rewatches is she's
Monica
so
Barbaro,
good.
yeah.
She is so good in every scene that she gets. She maximizes it. As she does in A Complete Unknown is why she's nominated. But I feel like Isabella Rossellini, somebody I could root for. Ariana Grande, maybe put that off till next year. I think this is Zoe's award, and I think she's going to win comfortably.
I don't get the Isabella Rossellini.
I don't either.
She had such an insignificant part in that movie.
I think she was in it for like 10 minutes or something. She hung out in that back room with that nun. I don't know what, they were just consulting on everything. She was barely in it.
Yeah, but then she
did nun
Google
thing.
stuff. She
did nun thing.
You know what?
Come on, is it a joke? Come on.
Yeah, no, that's.
I hope Conan is watching this, because you can take that joke and you can put that right in the monologue. That's
Yep.
good stuff, Sue.
All right. So actor in a supporting role, Yura Borisov for Honora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. Although I think Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice has been gaining, I will stick with Kieran Culkin, who's won every single award. I don't think anybody's going to go different, right?
No, and after seeing A Real Pain finally a couple weeks ago, he is so good. I mean, he was great as Roman and all the crazy hijinks he got into on Succession. This is shades of that character, but there's a lot of heart there. There's a lot of soul, and he really was powerful in that role, and very funny too.
You know, I read an article that says Kieran Culkin is doing the same thing in all of his role. And he is. I mean, even his acceptance speech at the SAG Awards felt like Roman, or felt like the character from A Real Pain. He does a great Kieran Culkin. I want to see when I'm interested. I think he'll win here, but see if he does something other than that in a role coming up. I think he's a really talented actor.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with you too, as far as that. And we talked about this on another podcast where I said the same thing. He's Roman in this. And I think he's going to win. And something that I think is kind of interesting and maybe cool is that he and Jeremy Strong, from Succession, are in this category together. So
the other thing that's great is Jeremy Strong is still in character. He's going to the Oscars as Roy Cohn, which is fantastic.
He gets deep, man. He gets deep.
He does. Still in there. All right. Best actress. Or best actress in a leading role. The category nominees are Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon, the beloved star of Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison in Honora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I just think the Demi Moore love, the wave of love for Demi Moore is enough to carry her past Mikey Madison. Although if you're looking to win your Oscar pool and you want one different thing, Mikey Madison might be the thing that you'd throw in there. What are you on Demi Moore?
Steve, are you looking at my teleprompter? Because I was going to make that exact point. This could be the other category that maybe you steal if you feel like you took some chances early. If you're listening to me, you probably did. And you need to gain some ground right there at the end. Because Mikey Madison, I think it was a surprise when she took home, I think, the BAFTA over Demi Moore. So there is some precedent where you could see her win another statue. But I think the smart money says Demi Moore, so much love. It's maybe a career achievement as much as the substance, but she was so compelling in that film.
She was great.
So it's a deserved win if she gets, and I think she will.
Okay, I think Demi Moore is going to win, but coming from someone who hasn't seen the film, okay, Fernanda Torres, I heard is amazing. So if you really want to go out of the box, she could be your pick.
Okay, are you picking her or are you sticking with Demi Moore?
I'm sticking with Demi Moore because I think it's just her year to win.
It is. It reminds me of Jamie Lee Curtis winning for Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it does have a Lifetime Achievement Award kind of feeling to it. So yeah, I think Demi Moore, the narrative is really strong there. All right, Best Actor, Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, along with that AI Hungarian accent. Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, who won the SAG Award, Colman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Sue?
I think Adrian Brody's going to win, and I don't want him to win. I really don't. I would love to see Timothée Chalamet win. I would even love to see Sebastian Stan win. He was phenomenal.
He was great. Yeah, he was great.
In a role that it was such a difficult role because whenever you've seen Donald Trump, you've seen parodies of him.
Yep.
But to see somebody have such a nuanced performance on a well-known person, he was insanely great. But again, I just think that it's going to be Adrian Brody.
Mark?
I think it's going to be Adrian Brody, and I think that with Timothée Chalamet, so I agree. I think that he was award-winning worthy in A Complete Unknown. I think that a lot of voters are going to look at him the way the NBA voters look at Nikola Jokic, where this guy can win MVP every year for the next 10 years possibly. And so if there's a chance that we can give it to somebody else, let's go ahead and take advantage, because otherwise Timothy might just be running up 2 or 3 of these in a row.
Nobody's standing up for Timmy, huh? Nobody is with Timothy.
But that argument, it's like, what about Meryl Streep? I mean, she won a ton of Academy Awards. So, I mean, it's like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? That bothers me.
I think Chalamet.
It bothers me. Yeah.
I think Chalamet's going to win. I do.
Wow.
He won the SAG last night. Largest block of voters in the Academy are actors. I think that, honestly, I do think the AI thing hurts Adrian Brody.
Yep.
It should.
People look at it and say, do your own Hungarian accent. And I think Chalamet, as he said last night, 5.5 years he spent preparing for this, playing the guitar and learning the vocals and all that stuff. I just think Chalamet, he's the golden goose in Hollywood right now, and I think they want to add an Oscar to his award shelf.
Right, and just to add to what you were saying about the whole AI thing, you look at Timothée Chalamet, and he was like, he learned how to play harmonica.
Yeah,
and aside from singing and learning guitar,
I
mean, he was incredible.
Right, and we could have had an AI Bob Dylan movie anytime in the last 3 years.
It's true.
If we wanted to go that route, I feel like he is there deserving. I do feel like Adrian Brody's deserving, but the AI thing bothers me. I feel like he is a great actor. We know if this was a new actor who we had seen maybe win an Oscar 20 years ago, I don't think we'd be having the same conversation. But I think Adrian Brody's a guy who's proven his worth and his ability in Hollywood. So if he did borrow AI for a little bit of help with an accent, I think the voters, whether it's right or not, are going to be a little more forgiving towards somebody who's a veteran like him. Yeah,
and Steve, we talked about this halfway through the film, you were saying, at the intermission. You felt at the intermission the movie should have just ended.
Yes.
I got bored. I really did. I got bored the second half of the film. So
Yeah, Adrian Brody, I think as Nikki Glazer described him, I think she called him a 2-time Holocaust survivor because he did the piano, or what was his first? It was not the piano. What was his first?
Pianist.
The pianist. Yeah.
The
pianist, and now this. So I'm the one on Timothy Chalamet. If you want an upset special, there you have it.
I might have to text you that night. If he ends up winning, I might have to throw you a text that night.
Yeah,
you called
absolutely.
it, baby.
I'm on it. All right, Best Picture. There are 10 of these. The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked, and Anora. I think it's a interesting category. It's the most wide open race I remember, although it really clarified at the end when Anora won everything from the PGA to the DGA to the WGA to the Independent Spirit Award. I think Anora is going to win Best Picture.
Anora, it certainly has the history on its side because you're right. The PGA, the WGA, the DGA, and the Critics' Choice Awards. So every year I find one stat that I cling to make me sound smart on shows like this. And every movie that has won all of those has gone on to win Best Picture, except Brokeback Mountain. That's the only one that took all of those and did not take Best Picture. And
but they did choose that wonderful, beloved film Crash.
If Brokeback Mountain had come out 5 years later, it was going to win the Oscar, and it rightfully should have. I think the Conclave has an argument here. I think The Brutalist has an argument here. This is not going to be the slam dunk that it sometimes is in years past. There's going to be a little trepidation if you're tied with your buddies going into the last race. I wouldn't fault you for picking Conclave or Brutalist, even A Complete Unknown.
I know. At one point,
I think Anora's got it.
At one point, I thought A Complete Unknown was going to be the movie. Before Anora started winning down the stretch, I thought, Complete Unknown is easily digestible. It's a genre we all know, musical biography, biopic. I felt like that was, but then Anora took everything. So I think Anora down the stretch won it.
Yep, and I would vote for Anora as well.
And I would vote for Anora. And Anora to me could be this year's Moonlighting.
Moonlight.
Yeah.
Moonlight.
Yeah.
It could be this year's Moonlight. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to say because I was shuffling around my papers.
Yes.
In 1968, Katharine Hepburn and Barbra Streisand tied for Best Actress.
Yes.
So that's something to think about too.
That is. We haven't had a tie in a long time. I'm trying to think what those movies were. Barbra Streisand was
Funny Girl.
Funny Girl.
Funny Girl, right.
And The Lion in Winter.
Lion in Winter. That's right. So we've had one tie. I'm betting against a tie.
I like ties though. Even
ties
as competitive as I am, I want more ties.
No bow ties, just ties,
just ties, baby, just ties.
And I think this would be a really good year to have a tie because you have this veteran actress who's the darling, okay, and then you have Mikey Madison, who's a kind of an up and comer, and she was so great in this that it would be a crime in a way to not give her the Oscar just because she lost to somebody who did a good job, but because she's a veteran actress who never won anything and she's a sentimental favorite.
So, Sue, is your prediction that Demi Moore and Mikey Madison will tie for Best Actress?
I'm hoping they will.
I'll tell you, that would be the most unbelievable prediction in history if Sue hits this, if she calls the tie at the Oscars.
Well, this is my exacta.
I don't even know if you can put money on a tie. I don't even know if there's ways to do that in Vegas. But if you can, Sue, you may want to take a couple dimes over to the state next to us and just place a couple bets.
Yep. All right. Last thing here. What do we think of Conan O'Brien as the host? What do we expect? How long the show? All that kind of stuff. Any new features at the Oscars? I know they're not doing the original songs. They're not performing the original songs. Which is, I think, the first time I can remember that they haven't done the songs.
I think it'll be a pretty svelte ceremony. I think that Conan is not traditionally a song and dance band, although if you want like maybe a dark horse bet, I wonder if he picks up a guitar at the beginning. The guy can play the axe pretty well. So I like Sue, I love watching the monologue because as a comedian, you're looking and seeing how the room is. You're looking at how jokes land or don't land. And historically, it's a tough night. I don't think he's the classic traditional fit of the Oscars where you'd have somebody who is more of a song and dance sort of person. I don't think this is going to go the way that Letterman went when he hosted the Oscars back in the 90s. I was really excited for it. And you found out early on, it just wasn't the right fit. Conan, I think, is a little more adaptable to his environment. He's interviewed everybody in that room multiple times on his various shows. So I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be very goofy. And you might have a couple really funny bits that might play better at home than they do in the room, because he's always had just a little bit of that stick it to the man, the late night, the masturbating bear, the Walker Texas Ranger lever that he pulls. It's not always the mainstream comedic force that they want at the Oscars, but Sue, I think that this is going to be something special, and I think it's going to end up being a pretty well-received hosting.
I totally agree with you. There's going to be silly. I know some of the writers. I know Brian Kiley, who wrote on his show. Laurie Kilmartin wrote on his show. Carol Leifer is writing on the show. The writing staff is amazing. So it's going to be funny.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. I think we did it in about 30 minutes or so. You can win your Oscar pool. Remember, a tie for Best Actress is Sue's unbelievable upset special. Hey, Mark, thank you very much for doing this, man. Appreciate it as always. We will talk to you again soon.
Hey, I love hopping on a Zoom with you guys. And if I can have 30 more seconds here, Steve.
Yeah, please.
I have a little hot tip for those in the Southern California area. If you're watching or listening in that area, this might be the weekend, Friday or Saturday, that you may want to go hit your local comedy club. I highly recommend the Comedy Store because in years past, you have a lot of celebrity town. You have a lot of funny presenters that are going to want to work their stuff out. I've seen it happen at the Comedy Store virtually every year. Back when Chris Rock was hosting, he'd pop in and do his whole monologue. I saw Robin Williams, Steve Martin, Jon Stewart, all these folks, because they came back to the stage because they wanted to get some floorboard walking in before they did it at the Oscars. It's a great weekend to go see some stand-up Friday or Saturday.
That is an excellent tip. That is a really good idea. Well, Mark, thanks as always, man. We will talk to you again soon.
Good luck, everybody.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. There's your Culture Pop podcast. Hey, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Good luck at the Oscars, and we'll see you next time on the Culture Pop podcast.